Hello there, and welcome to the first midweek momentum of 2026. It is January 7th. It is a Wednesday afternoon. And now that we are midweek through the first full week of January, I hope you're getting your feet under you. Over here, we got a lot going on, and it seems both appropriate and slightly daunting that I'm going to introduce you to a new format for midweek momentum right now. If you've been listening to No More Mondays for a while, I've always cared about one thing, and that is making sure humans still matter, whether that's helping you build fantastic careers, start businesses, or just live a life that feels a little bit more human. That is the thing that I am driven to make sure that we do. And when I started No More Mondays almost 250 episodes ago, it's been close to 5 years. I really wanted to just bring conversations with people who liked what they do for work to everybody out there to inspire you to know that you actually could have a career that you at least enjoyed or didn't compete with life. And since that time, the podcast and I and my perspective and what I'm doing in the world has evolved, and the conversations have evolved with it. But that core theme really still stands. And so instead of clipping out a little segment from a previous edition or a previous episode, I've decided to just come in and be your midweek momentum and make sure that you all know I know you matter and that humans still matter. And as we continue to adapt to the future of work, ensure that our careers and our lives are integrated and complement instead of compete, and figure out how to navigate AI in our businesses and in our leadership and in our executive function, I'm here to talk to you in the humans and how you can do that. And why it seems so fitting to be doing that today on January 7th is my book is now live and out there for the purchase. It is on Kindle. And if you are so inclined to buy a $2 copy and leave a review in 3 days, it would help a ton because we are tracking with amazing results so far. Number one, new release in entrepreneurship. Number three, new release in happiness. And that's the one that I really want number one on. And so if you are so inclined to get out there and help me out in that regard, it would be awesome because that is part of this entire ecosystem that is No More Mondays movement, right? Scary Good, discovering life beyond the Sunday scaries is the flip side of the same coin to having No More Mondays. And so it seemed to just click that here I am introducing these new short solo episodes to you every Wednesday afternoon. I'm still going to give you that double shot of inspiration to get through the week, but you're just going to hear from me. And so we might dig into something that came up in the episode earlier that week. I might sound off on something that I feel really excited or really passionate or really fired up about talking to you about. And sometimes we might even take questions from you so that we are addressing exactly what you are concerned and want to hear about and want to be motivated around as we continue to motivate purposeful humans in this AI age and in the future of work. Because when I look back on the 230 some episodes that we've had, there are common themes even throughout that evolution, right? They were never really about resumes or job searches. Maybe they weren't even about success, but they were more about you and your human identity and taking the agency that you have in your life and career and exercising it and discerning how you want your life to play out. And essentially, what happens when work starts feeling more human, right? That's really what these conversations are all about. And I like to talk about the future of work, but I realize I've never really talked about what I think the future of work is or have defined that for all of you. And what it's important to know is when we say the future of work, in my mind, it isn't because AI created a bunch of questions. It's essentially because it came on the scene and has made these types of questions and has made our human skills and the importance of human connection even more important to address. And so when I talk about the future of work, this is not an AI tools podcast. We're not talking about AI hype. We're definitely not talking about fear-based, how do I stay relevant or panicking. We're talking about how to be an AI-enabled human on purpose. Human being the most operative word there. How do we think? How do we decide? How do we lead? How do we create meaning In a world that continues to move faster and faster and faster, old rules apply to that. We're still defining the rules in which we get to live and work by in this evolving age. And that is what is so cool about being an AI enabled human on purpose in 2026. We've got more agency than we know, and we get to define what meaning is to us, and we get to create that in this world, especially if you are in the space of conscious entrepreneurship or leadership or in any other space to influence humans. And I argue that pretty much every single one of you listening most likely is, just because most humans are in that place and can go out and serve humans if we really understand how we want to impact the world. But because if you're listening to this podcast, it means that you value having no Sunday scaries, you value the concept at the very least of having no more Mondays, and you really want to integrate life and work and be a purposeful human, impacting the world, impacting others, and doing good work, whether it involves AI or not. What I've decided is that Midweek Momentum becomes a space where I kind of take an idea and I unpack it. It might be from you, it might be from work, it might be something that I realized this week. And I don't want to necessarily give you answers, but I want to give you food for thought. That is essentially what I have always been about, is helping you discern and think about what actually matters in this world that is changing so fast and more disconnected than it has ever been. And so as we get into these midweek momentums and I have an opportunity to just talk to and with you, I want to know, what do you want to hear from me? What do you want to hear me talk about more? What do you want to understand about the Sunday Scaries or No More Mondays? What do you want to know about what it's like to write a book that pretty much lets everybody behind the curtain of a pretty messy journey to fulfillment? What do you want to know about entrepreneurship or leading in an AI age? These are all the things that I am so excited to bring to you in these midweek momentums as food for thought. And yes, as a little extra double shot, because you know I got an espresso right here to help you push through this week and be that purposeful human. Bringing this to you on this day when the book is really going live, like we're in the first 24 hours of launch, which is why it's so incredible that it's ranking, Scary Good, Discovering Life Beyond the Sunday Scaries. You can find out more at scarygoodread.com, shameless plug, is a little bit of, I'm going to call it a career anthology of mine, but not even a career anthology. It's a little bit more of the life journey, my career trajectory over the last 20 or so years has taken me, and how those did eventually converge in a really beautiful way. And what I think is so interesting about introducing you to this new format for Midweek Momentum is I get to lean into this kind of stuff. I haven't done an origin story show here since like episode 10. I haven't gotten to talk in depth about the fact that I am a former engineer who loves people, which is why I love enabling humans on purpose through technology so that we remain impactful despite technology. It's also why I love getting super nerdy about things like N8 and agents and all these things that I can do to make myself more efficient so that I can be a human more present to the humans that I love and care about and want to support. I haven't gotten to talk about the fact that Jim and I lived in a bus for 4 years that we built ourselves. We built a 225 square foot school bus, a house inside of a gutted school bus, right? I've mentioned that. You've heard little tidbits here and there, but I've never really gotten to come and talk so much about what I learned from those. And that's really what I got to weave into the book. And so I feel that this is not only a super exciting time for me to evolve the way I talk to you and what I talk about, but it's very timely based on just where we are as a society and as a workforce. And as we continue to evolve as professionals, doing so with intention. Because in my mind, there's all kinds of technology that we can put all over the place. But at the end of the day, we are in a time where there is higher levels of disconnection than ever. There is actually a loneliness pandemic out there. And if you look at statistics, you will find loneliness is off the charts. And there's some dangerous AI stuff connected with that I won't get into because I'm not a therapist. I only play one on TV. But this is the kind of stuff that is so important for us to be having real conversations about because humans still matter. And that's why I started using that phrase, is because we are more disconnected than ever, despite the illusion of connection. And from a leadership and a team perspective, remembering to put people first. Earl Hoig reminded us of this on Monday in our full episode, which I totally recommend you listen to if you are a leader or aspiring leader of a team or a business, because the future of work is people. And I know that sounds strange to say at a time when technology is just taking over and we're in this AI gold rush, but in my opinion, all of those things are going to come together and push us even further into more types of human connection. It's almost like we're going to go back to old school traditional roots. At least that's my opinion. And I think right now we're in a little bit of a holding pattern and a waiting period while the AI gold rush, dust settles and people figure out where they want to leverage AI versus over indexing it. But eventually all of that is going to point towards success, meaning real human connection. And if you are a leader in any sort of sense, whether it's in your home, in your business, in a company, running a team, if you're a leader who puts people first, that's how you're going to find higher levels of success, both individually and in business. And that is the super fun stuff we get to talk about as we dig into the future of work and how to be an AI-enabled human on purpose here during Midweek Momentum with me, your host of No More Mondays, Angie Callan, and now officially published author of Scary Good, Discovering Life Beyond the Sunday Scaries. I hope to hear from you. Let me know what you want to talk about. Grab the $2 Kindle because I am really not very shameless in trying to get this thing in as many hands as possible. Please reach out to me at angiecallan.com if I can help you in any way. Can't wait to be here again with you next week for another little double shot of Midweek Momentum.